Hey everyone, today I'm going to show you how to restrict the user from being able to move on until they've completed a custom block inside of Rise. It is a relatively new feature and it allows you to restrict the user from moving on until this custom block that you vibe coded or built yourself, and you can trigger when that continue button actually shows. So I'm going to dive in here, and inside of this course, what I've done is I've added a custom block. So you can add a custom block just by going into custom here, and then you can either add HTML code or you can upload an entire project. I do cover how to do that if you want to check out my previous video. I already have one. It's a simple one of just clicking on 4 cards. So let's go ahead and take a look at what this looks like so far. So I click on a card and it shows the check mark. Now there are cards inside of Rise, but what this does is it allows me to customize the card in any way that I want. And it allows me to add on some customizations of, show an alert at the end of it, or maybe shuffle the cards or something. So that's why you'd want to do something like this. But to keep it as simple as possible, I just want to open up the continue button as soon as you've completed all 4 cards. And so we do have that right now. If you clicking on all 4 cards and then a message shows up. Now, it's important to have something happen at the end of all 4 of these cards, because that will give you the trigger to copy in this code that you need in order to prevent the user from moving forward. So there are a couple of steps to go ahead and do this. But let me show you how I developed this interaction, this simple interaction first, and then we'll dive in the steps that you actually need to do to restrict the user from moving on until this completion has happened. So the tool that I used for this one is called Cursor. Now Cursor does show you the code. So I've had people get very afraid of the code. And so they see inside of Cursor like, no, I don't want to use Cursor. You could completely ignore the code and not use the code at all. But I did inside of Cursor go through and give it some instructions. So it didn't take me too many prompts to do, but I said, create a single HTML file. And that's important because I wanted to just copy and paste in the code. I didn't want to have to zip it up and then upload it, which you can do, but I just wanted to keep it as simple as possible. So create a single HTML file with 4 cards across the page, and they have front text, and when you click on it, it shows the back text. Also, each will show a check mark, and then at the end, it'll show a done a message saying that it's done. So that's what I did to do the initial prompt. Now I had to go back and forth on updating some styles, and so I didn't like the way it did the color of the card initially, and then also the check mark was kind of backwards. And so I just went back and forth a little bit, not too much to get that. So all I did was basically type in, change this, change that, and so forth. So Cursor is an AI agent, so you can just naturally talk to it to get to the interaction that you want. Then I went in and I copied this code. And most importantly, I wanted something to happen. And I can see in the code, because I know code, I can see that at the end, it's giving me this console.log. You don't even need to know that. You can just basically copy in the code from Rise that is going to give you on how to trigger this completion. So then I just copied it inside of Rise. So I went into the edit here and just copied and pasted inside of there. So that's step number 1, to get your interaction, to get it working initially. Step number 2 is we want to disable the continue button until they've completed the interaction above. So on the continue button, and you'll have to have a continue button there, which if you don't know where that's at, just click on the plus icon and then go ahead and click on divider here. If you click on divider, the continue button is right there. So with that continue button, I can then click on edit, and then I can select the drop-down box to complete block directly above. So that means the block directly above, which in this case is our custom code block, has to be complete, and it has to send over a completion before this will move on. So if I enable that right now, you can see that it's locked right here. But watch what happens inside a preview, because that's only step number 1. If I go down to this, and you can see I have a couple of continue buttons here, so I'm just going to jump down to the end here. There is my card interaction. Now, I've completed it at this point because nothing is like watching for it to be complete, because I have to enable something on the code block, because right now it just shows that, hey, you've gone to that page, you've looked at this HTML, you're complete. So let's go into step number 2 here. So I'm going to go back down to my interaction here and click on the content button. And this is where I can go in and send a completion requirement. So if I send a completion requirement, it gives me a line of code where I need to place it at the end of that completion. So whatever the interaction is, if you're working with a game, if you're working with just this interactive type, if you're working with the video and you want to send over a completion at the end, you have to specify in whatever AI agent that you're working with, that this code goes at the very end of the interaction. So I'm going to copy that code, but before I do, watch what happens when I preview it now. Because right now, it's never going to trigger a completion. So if I scroll down here, you can see that it is locked, but even though I go ahead and click on all 4 cards, it still keeps me locked. That's because I have not sent over this code. I have not triggered the completion in that interaction. So now, step number 3 is to go ahead and go into the AI agent and tell it to trigger that code. So because I know the code is there, I could just copy that code right there. But what I'll do in this case, when the interaction is done, I want you to also trigger this code, this line, let's say line of code. And then let's just paste in that line of code. So let's give it a second and it's going to go ahead and do this. Now, when I was trying this inside of ChatGPT, it was giving me a little bit more trouble and it didn't actually place the code right away. With Cursor or something like Lovable, iterations are a lot easier to go back and forth than it is inside of ChatGPT. So this is something that I would recommend if you're going to use Cursor, Visual Studio Code, or Lovable. It's a whole lot easier to do that. So you can see right here, it placed that code, and with Cursor, it does let me know exactly where that code was placed, and then I can just go ahead and click on Keep All, meaning that I approve of this change, and I can just go ahead and keep that and continue to iterate. So I'm going to copy all of that now, and I'm going to go back into Rise here. And so let's go ahead and click on Edit, and then go down to that again, and we're going to replace that. So I'll select everything, hit Delete, and then I'll go ahead and paste in the new code. Now I won't see it here because I actually need to preview it to see the change here. If I go in and just continue, and then hit Continue here, and then move on down here, if I visit, and I can visit these in any order that I want, as soon as I visit the last one, it's going to enable that continue button. So just simply by adding that one line of code, I didn't even need to code it. I could have just copied and pasted it in the right location, but now it is disabled me moving on or the learner moving on until that code has fired. That's what enables the continue button there. Tremendously helpful feature to be able to take a custom interaction and prevent the user from moving on until they've actually completed this. Initially, when the code blocks came out, that feature was not available, and it is something that they recently enhanced. So I definitely wanted to show you that. If you like this video, head on over to my YouTube channel, click the like button, subscribe to my channel, as well as hit the bell notification so you get notified of all future videos as they come out. That really helps my channel, allows my channel to continue to grow, allows me to continue to reach other learning developers. And really the goal of my channel is to help you with this custom part, help you with being able to stretch beyond what comes out of the box inside of e-learning tools. And I'm going to be exploring a lot more with vibe coding, a lot more with customizing Rise, customizing Storyline as well. That's kind of the direction that I'm going. And I am at 71,000 subscribers at the moment. My goal is to get to 100K. So if you want to subscribe or just share it with other people and tell them to subscribe, that would be really helpful as well. Also, if you want to check out more, you can head on over to my website at learningdojo.ninja. I have apps that you can check out for learning developers. I have different animation tools, snippets as well. I have full courses, everything from A to Z in Articulate Storyline 360, JavaScript for Storyline, as well as XAPI. So JavaScript, I dive into the basics and so you can understand it, but I also show you how to do more kind of vibe coding or how to generate JavaScript snippets with JavaScript as well. You also have XAPI fundamentals, Articulate Rise, custom SCORM. If you want to check out more blogs or head on over to our community, you can go ahead and click on this blog, and then you can also check out free templates. That's all I have for today, so thanks everyone. I'll see you next time.